छाया आसमान देखो झूमता गगन है छाया आसमान देखो झूमता गगन ज़मीन आसमान झुक गया झूमता गगन मेरे झूम ले जहां ये कैसा नशा प्यार का समा वही समा झूमे आसमान होश तो खोले प्यार तू ले ले संग मेरे झूम गा कैसा नशा होश है कहाँ होश तो खोले प्यार तू ले ले संग मेरे झूम गा
Alrighty, I think we're ready. I don't hear the music. It's Saturday night. Got the stars on, got the lights on. It is July 18th, and you are in the star room. This is all astrology. We do speed readings. I need your birth time, your birth date, birth city, birth state. If you don't know your birth time, then say that you don't have your birth time. That's fine. We'll create a special chart for those who don't have a birth time. Everybody gets a speed reading. Unless you want a longer reading, you can send a gift to the channel. And for people who have that ability to do that, then you gift the channel, I gift you back with time. You can also send your digits via email. The email address is at the bottom of the screen. Pay attention to the spelling, folks. It's a lot of letters there. And first up is teamwork. Let me get teamwork's chart so we can get on the roll. Oh, and before I forget, for any of the astrology students, we do an astrology. Every Saturday night we do something, right? Every Saturday. So last Saturday was our astrology class. That is private. And so for those of you who were present, you just got the recording of the class. I didn't get a chance to send an email out to everybody. So I'm just going to make that announcement here. And so you received your channel, your link to the private library to watch the class again as many times as you like. And I think that's it. So we're going to do this reading. We do this usually every week, Monday through Friday. Not every day of the week. Sometimes it's 2 days out of the 5-day week, right? Just depends. You got to put your alert on because it just depends when I have the availability, and then I jump on. That way you're alerted when the channel is in live stream mode. All right. So let's kick off our Saturday night. Wasn't there an old school song about Saturday night? Probably a couple of them. I ain't talking Saturday Night Fever. This would have been before that. Or maybe it was just Saturday, right? And they spelled the words out. They spelled the word out in the song. Remember that? Who remembers that? What is that? What was that? Anyway, let's start off with teamwork. Teamwork got here right up top, bright and early. Very good. Teamwork said, I've got a question. Let's find teamwork's question. Who else do I got here? Christy's here. What's going on, Christy? We got PDX. PDX, I got your email. Good job. You are in the system. That's right. If you want a reading, yeah, you got to show up in the chat. But I got to have your digits. If I don't have your digits, I'm just going to go to the next name. I don't have time to, to explain every 5 minutes or whatever it is, right? Just kind of like it's an astrology reading. You need all your birth digits, and then I create your chart. Okay. If you don't know your birth time, just tell me and I'll create a special chart for you. So this is speed readings. So let me find out where is Teamwork's question. Teamwork. Looking forward to your question. Yeah, Teamwork must be having a problem with the internet. I'm assuming people are having internet issues because Teamwork said she had a question. I don't see it here. Does anybody see Teamwork's question? Teamwork, did you send an email? Maybe that would be better. I don't think so, but I'm going to move along. Kathy Ryan. Okay, Kathy, I'm looking at the email. Thank you for the channel gift. Very good. Let's see what we got here. Yeah. Sometimes that line looks long, but if people don't have their stuff together, I just go to the next name, right? They can just get back into the line again. I just rotate back around again. If people leave, go to the bathroom, whatever. So, all right. So Teamwork must be, all right. Teamwork must be having tech difficulties. So we're going to have to move on, Teamwork. Hi, how are you? I'm good. Do you have your digits? That's what I do here. You got digits? Leave them down there below for me. Who's the next in line? It's going, hey, Watkinson Cat House. How are you? I went to PDX. Jesse Hood. Hey, Jesse from South Australia. How the hell are you doing? Teamwork's having technical difficulties. So we're going to go. Yeah. So for PDX, are you here? Because you are the next name in line and I have your digits. You emailed me, I got them, and you sent a channel gift. So PDX, you're up. You see, just like that. If I can get your chart on the screen. Let's cross our tech finger windows and say, oh, please work. You just never know. All right, hopefully this worked out. Did it work? Oh, yeah. Here we go. PDX, I'm Kathy Ryan. Thank you so much for the channel gift. Much appreciated. Teamwork, I see where you're saying you're invisible, but we don't see your question. Yeah. Even Christy said she's looking forward to your question. I'm looking forward to your question, but I do see this comment from you. That's what I see. Yep. I don't know if it's your internet. I don't know what it is. It's crazy sometimes. All right. So Kathy, it's your turn. You're up. And did you have one or two words, something you wanted me to focus on, or I'm going to, it's just going to pour right out. Whatever pops in is what's going to come out. That's just the way it works, especially since I haven't seen your chart before. Have you seen your chart before? This is showing a Leo ascendant, 7 degrees. It's important to know that I'm looking at the accurate chart. You're a Scorpio sun, of course, but this says you're a Scorpio moon. Okay. New moon time for the birth. Mercury in Scorpio as well. Do you know if this is your chart? Uranus and Pluto in Virgo conjunct at 17. Holy moly. That's some big boss energy there. That's pretty wild. So Kathy, PDX or PDX. Have you seen your chart before? Noel, I see you. Hello. Jiggy. Yeah, I see all these other names, and I'm trying to see if I can get an answer from PDX, if this is PDX chart. All right, we're just going to go ahead and start reading. Yeah, see, Teamwork. I get questions. I get comments like this, but it doesn't include your question. So if you would maybe try to, when you comment, just include your question in it. That maybe it'll come through. I don't know what's going on. Okay. So yes, I don't know much about this. Okay, that's okay. As long as we can confirm this is an accurate chart, that's the main thing. People, start reading a chart and then it's like, hey, that doesn't sound like me. Well, then it's not your chart. Yeah. So what we have going on in this chart, you've got some, the Virgo energy is strong. Leo on the rising, which means you're going to have your North Node entering into Leo territory. Scorpio moon, really psychic people, but usually if it's in the fourth house, there's usually can be a lot of ancestral trauma. Siblings might be part of this, but communication is going to be a thing here. Yeah. Mom energy. And there might be difficulties with communication as far as fuzzy communications or super creative energy, because that's usually what that's really good for. And you even have the nodes at 4 degrees, which is a big deal right now. It's a big deal because you've got Uranus sitting right here on your north node tonight, right? Well, it's been here actually. Uranus is not a fast mover. But Jupiter just went to 4 degrees today. So what you're experiencing right now is a Jupiter trining your south node. So this 4-degree energy can bring back the past. All right, because you got the 4 degrees pretty prominent in your chart so far, and that's the trail I'm following. History, ancestry, emotions, feelings, childhood, mom, mother wound, any sort of family betrayal kind of wounds, especially for feminine energy. There's usually that, really dark shit that happened to our mother or, in the ancestral line and nobody cared or did anything about it, or even perhaps in our own childhood, right? But something somewhere in the soul memory, the number 4, the past comes up a lot for you. You've got to, wow. So Juno is at 4 degrees where Pluto is in your chart with the Pallas Athena in Aquarius. So this is astrology energy, right? Looking forward to the future, but partnerships, unconventional partnerships, different. This can be marriage energy, but probably work related, domestic related for sure, but in the home energy too. And this can, right now, there's a major, massive change because Pluto's sitting right on your Juno, the relationship energy. So whether it's the relationship with yourself and your health and well-being and your emotional well-being connected to that, there might even be some heart stuff in here. That's a really good possibility. So if it's not like my physical heart, it can be the higher heart. It can be like the internal heart of, oh my God, right? My love for this person, my generosity, my compassion, my kindness, all this energy. Like this is really huge for you right now. So there's a lot about self, my future, thinking about that, but also the connections with the past and the emotional intellect that's happening and connecting the dots, past, present, and future is coming online. Usually the Scorpio moon folks are incredibly psychic, know way more than they probably need to know, and sometimes end up sharing more than they should share. Not always, but with a Mercury here and it connected to Neptune, there might be times when you have shared things. And because Neptune is there, your intentions could very well be higher intentions as opposed to somebody else's intentions. Somebody else may take that information and run with it. And, maybe, who knows, whether it's a betrayal, whether it's to hurt somebody else, whether it's to, people are weird. Just in general, as humans, we're weird. We do weird shit. It's just the reality of our lives. So when it comes to information, stuff about the past, maybe things people weren't aware of, and so there's trauma and deep vulnerabilities, but land and property, because it's in the 4th house, is here. This is usually the placement of inheritances with the Scorpio stuff, right? Inheriting, right? The family's whatever the hell, the estate or whatever you got. So the connection coming through with feminine energy and in the communication, possibly contract stuff, but the talking and the sharing of information, you have to be really cautious. You have to be cautious, especially if you're dealing, whether it's coworkers or siblings or cousins or neighbors, whatever it is, anybody who's considered a peer, you'd have to just, kind of rethink things multiple times before sharing. With the Scorpio stuff, it's going to know more than it really needs to know. And maybe there are times when it has to really create a higher level of discernment in what it shares, because not everything we know is meant to be shared. That's just the reality. So what that means then is the Saggy energy is really one who's going to want to share. And you even have Mars and Venus together. So when these two are together, this is all about learning and teaching and preaching. It's adventure and excitement and fun energy, maybe even a little bit on the entertainment side. And again, your node is here. So higher education, fairness, justice, equality, the feeling like I know the truth, I'm seeking for the truth, I'm searching for the truth, going on that grand adventure. Impulsive energy may be connected with, putting information out there, because the Sagittarius energy loves to say, but I have the truth. And it feels it's duty almost like it's a duty that it's got to share it with everybody, which can be tricky because that's usually everyone looks at us like, please be quiet. Right? We didn't ask, damn it. We don't want to hear. This is the whole, the preacher is preaching to the choir type of thing. So it can be interesting. But if you work with children, then that's a perfect setup. Then that's an ideal situation. You're working with children, they're there to learn. So it makes sense because this is in the house of creativity and children. All right. It is travel as well. This would be going on an adventure, vacation, but also, what was that when we were kids, like the field trip thing? It was kind of like an educational type of slant to it because we're there to learn, but deeply spiritual energy at the end of the day. Saggy, deeply spiritual energy. So having fun with that. And your Mars and your Venus together says you're going to take action on that which you desire, right? That which I desire, I'm going to take action. So I love that right now with the Jupiter in the Leo energy, just went to 4 degrees today, sitting exactly a nice, beautiful trine and setting up a sweet mystic rectangle for you. Really sweet mystic rectangle. So partnerships, work, maybe health, but even the big social media, like what we're doing now, live streams and learning online, education. So, maybe your mind is like, the level of curiosity and digging into the past a little bit. Some people can be looking into ancestry, whatever. But just kind of going a little bit deeper than usual, and maybe just a lot of big energy in terms of home, children, domestic energy, again, where I live, where I spend my time, with the people that I work with, maybe even working possibly from the home if you're connected with social media or whatnot, or just using tech. I'll put it that way, using technology, because you got Gemini in the technology placement up here at 4 degrees. So connecting with the past, connecting with the public is pretty strong. But creativity and sound, when it comes to Mercury and I don't know, there's some weird ass noise. Can you guys hear that? I don't know what the hell that is, like a high pitched thing. So the creativity with music and sound, even with the Mercury and Neptune, that's what's coming in, and Pisces in the 8th house, another big thing, healing, using it to heal. There's a big connection with the past, with higher information, higher knowledge, but like almost a streaming in of higher octaves, higher frequencies, and Chiron in the 8th house in the sign of Pisces. It's connected to health, literally, with the Chiron, and by degree, it's connected to health. So there's a lot of interesting connections that you have here in terms of working with some of the higher energies, and then unconventional work. It stands out, but it's supposed to be deeply transformational work, like something that you can do on a level where people truly would find healing. And again, creativity comes up for you. So I love this, and it's in the house of income and money. The physical body comes up 13 degrees. And then you even have Jupiter, a retrograding Jupiter in your natal chart at 1 degrees. And so again, this is unconventional family, unconventional friends. My physical body's part of this, but it's kind of got a leadership vibration. So whether it's through spiritual work, whether it's in your creative work, it's kind of this, you're connecting to a higher realm energy. So whether you're doing that currently or whether you're hoping to eventually, but you have a huge water trine at the 1 degree. So I'm thinking this works for you all the time in terms of creativity. I'm thinking that it just comes up and it would flow. It would flow pretty good. Just remember then in the house of creativity, where you have your Saggy energy in the 5th house, the creation and the children energy. This is supposed to be where we open people's minds up, right? This is Sagittarius. It's really expansive. It's expansive. It's off the planet. It's not necessarily mind altering, but it could be, right? Because there can be some substance stuff that comes into place sometimes because Jupiter is strong. Jupiter would be the rulership here. And at that 11th house connection, it comes out pretty strongly. And it means friends. It means friends and it means group energy. So you have to look forward to, or you have a lot to look forward to in terms of coming into contact with people who might be beneficial in some way, whether it's to advance the technological side of work or just in group networking energy and communication. So that's what you have here with the Jupiter in your 11th house, considered the angelic realm. But if we don't believe in that sort of thing, or whatever your belief is, even though you have some spiritual stuff here, it's just friends in high places, friends who can, a little help from your friends type of thing. Okay. So I am hoping that this makes sense for you. And I don't know specifically what you wanted me to pinpoint and to focus on, but for right now, I think we're good with that. You let me know. You're welcome to come back. I've got you saved into the system, and we're going to move on. All right, so we're going in order. And let me see where my order is. So teamwork, did teamwork come back? Did teamwork leave? I don't see teamwork's comments in here. Okay. So teamwork must be a tech night. It must be a tech nightmare in her chart right now. That's usually how that goes. Thank you. That was wonderful overview. Yeah, PDX, you are welcome. Thank you again for the channel gift. Anybody who leaves the channel gift, I spend more time on your chart. Otherwise, we're just going to keep on going to give everybody some speed readings here. Speed readings. And if you do happen to have a question, like if there's something you want me to focus on, remember, it's a speed reading, right? So there's only so deep I can go on those. However, if you have a question, make sure it's on the same line as your birth digits, right? Like put all your stuff together for me on one line. That'll make it easy. Don't make me fish. All right. That slows everything down. Everybody else in the chat gets crazy. And it just makes my job a lot easier. I don't have like a staff. The cats are in the other room. They're not working. They said, screw you. You're on your own tonight. So please help me help you. All right. So we have, I'm looking for a cat. Hey, Watkinson's Cat House. I think you're next. I see Jesse from South Australia, but I don't have Jesse's digits, and Jesse didn't put the digits there. So Watkinson, if you're here, you're the name that's up next. Did Watkinson make another comment anywhere? Is Watkinson Cat House here? Yeah, Watkins said, can I ask a question today? You have my chart. Yep, you're up. What's your question? So when you guys do that, when you say, can I ask a question? You have my chart. Just include your question on that same line. It'll make it easier. I've had a lot of change recently. Am I reading in the right direction? Or I'm sorry, am I headed in the right direction? Okay, good. I've had a lot of change recently. Am I headed in the right direction? All right, let's get your chart up. I do have your chart, and let's find out, where did I put it? Here it is. Let's go to W. All right, Watkinson, we got you up here. You want to know if you're headed in the right direction. Well, it's a tricky time, isn't it? I mean, there's opportunities, there's changes, and it's like, so what am I supposed to do? Yeah, it's a tricky scenario. I get it. Okay, so I'm not sure what direction you're headed in yourself right now. If I go ahead and pull up let me, let me do this. Let me go to this other chart for you. How about we try that for you? That might help us with your, yeah, that might help. Okay, so let me take just a real quick, this is a moon in a, oh, okay, wow, all right, well, interesting energy here. Okay, so this shows in the second house of income, money, values, and desires, Venus and Mars together. So taking quick, sudden pivots, like lightning bolt changes, right? So you do have this in the house of values, relationships, meaning my love, your love. Hey, that's my love. But money and finances as well. And values just in general, but the moon's even here. So home and family and significant one-on-one relationships. And we see you have a node in this chart in Taurus at 1, and this is where Chiron is sitting right now. Okay, so values and home is part of it. Okay. So what that means is that you are supposed to be doing something new. That was the whole point of the Chiron getting to 0 degrees. And your node's right there at 1, and it's your north node, which means the north node has been activated, and it challenges you. Well, it challenges all of us. Our north nodes challenge us to get out of our comfort zone. You follow? So if the path that you're on is getting you out of your comfort zone, chances are it's in the right direction, unless you're doing something that's not good for you or for your own well-being or somebody else's well-being, then that's different. But this path of Taurus in the home, our money and our values, sometimes this means, Taurus is earthy energy, as far as valuing my home, valuing my family, valuing self, independent energy, taking charge, maybe something like in a leadership type of way. Okay. The Taurus energy is about the creature comforts. So it's all about, it should look like this, it should be like that. Food, clothing, like anything you can think of, smell, taste, touch. The 5 senses and way the hell beyond is Taurus. So developing those other senses that we all have developed, it's just discerning and understanding, okay, what the hell we're working with, right? We all have this. This is just Taurus energy for everybody, but it's in the home you're doing it. Creating Taurus energy, big time. These people can have great vocals, by the way. So if we're using our voice in some way out of the home, but starting something new, 1 degrees. And the Chiron, this was the promise of Chiron at zeros. It said, and this isn't just Chiron by itself, there's other objects, but it said new skills were going to come online. You were going to discover new opportunities. And when that happens, you are to definitely try them out. Give them a whirl, because this is where your north node in Taurus in this chart, okay, where this is telling you this is part of your soul's future. And your soul wants you to build stability, which includes patience, a deep sense of self-worth. This is a big one, self-worth for everybody. Learning how I am of value in new ways, understanding and discovering what those new values are. So this lifetime is about a slowdown and a peace, a calmness, a steadiness, but also being drawn into drama or relying on others for emotional or material security. You're leaving that in the past. You follow? This is more about creating your own emotional and material security in this lifetime. So you're learning the value of persistence and consistency. Simplicity, that's a big word with Taurus. Simplicity in learning, but simplicity in routine, simplicity in just having a steady effort with something and not giving up on it, right? And the connection to the natural world, to nature, even to the earth, to the planet, but discovering the importance of beauty and realizing that those things aren't necessarily a distraction, but they should be included in your everyday world. But creating financial independence and material stability is probably highlighted with a Chiron in Taurus on your north node. Okay. So I'm not sure what direction you're in, hopefully that made sense for you. Just remember, because the Chiron's on your North Node, this is you satisfying your soul's goal, which means creating stability for myself in my home, but also my emotions, because it's in your 4th house. Okay. In this other chart. And that this other chart was the one where all the material change would have been happening. You follow? So according to that chart, doing something new, embracing something, starting something, but sticking with it and proving to yourself the self-worth, because you're not going to betray yourself. You're going to be there for yourself. And we're all learning this right now, okay? But for people who have stuff at that 0 degrees or near it, they're learning it and they're experiencing it now. We will all have our turn. Okay, next. Watkinson's done. And Christy said, I'm passing. Very good. Thank you, Christy. How the hell are you doing? Christy's probably creating. Yep, Christy's the sun, and yeah. Woohoo. All right. So the next name on let's see who's in the queue. All right. I got a name with some digits. Wayne, New Jersey. Are you here? It says Jeggip 1700. JEGGYP. November 29th, 1999, 5:28 a.m. Are you here? You're up. Doing a roll call. If you're not here, we're going to the next name. I got to see you showing up in the chat. You're welcome, Watkins. Yep. Yeah, family and home. That's 4th house, Watkinson. Yep. Family, home, mom. Okay, so Jay, you're on the screen. Yeah, JEGGYP 1700. It is your turn. I'm going to give you a couple more seconds here to respond in the chat. Sometimes, the chats go slow and it's delayed. I get that. And all right, Jay Castro, I got your digits in the email. I see that. Remember, folks, these are speed readings. Unless you want to gift the channel, then I can spend more time. We're going to do speed readings, okay? That way we try to get everybody. All right, so we're going on to the next one. No response from Jay. Oh, actually, Jay did kind of. There's a response right here. Jay Jag, are you still here? Are you still here? I don't know if this was a response. I think this was before I asked. You want to know, when will I get a new job? Wayne, New Jersey. All right, I need you to jump in on the chat to say you're here. Otherwise, I'm going to pass this name up because you got to respond. I want to read for people who are present, not for people who just leave their shit and then go somewhere else and say, well, I'll just watch it on the replay. No, ain't doing it. Not reading it if you're not here. It's not fair to those who are sitting waiting. Okay, so we're going to scroll on past, and then if you do come back, well then, yeah, you just get at the end of the line. So here we go. We've got other people waiting. Let me get to those names. How about, I think we're looking at, all right, we need people with digits. Noel? Noel, are you here? I said Noel. Is that right? Yeah. Noel DeMarco, July 16th, 1975, 1 a.m. Do you have a birth location? I would need a birth location to create your chart. Oh, Lord, I shouldn't have clicked on that if it didn't have all the info. Noel, are you here? And do you have your birth location? Noel's here. Very good. Okay, Noel, good job. I see what you did. You snuck it in there. Good job. All right, Noel, I'm going to create your chart real quick. Okay, Joanne, you sent a gift to the channel. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me get this chart up, and then we will get to you. So these digits, we got to create this new chart here. That's July 16th, 1975. Okay. And Noel DeMarco. Oh, what the hell? Where'd it go? I'm like, don't be starting that crazy glitchy stuff. So far, we're doing pretty good. 1 a.m. And we have New Iberia, Louisiana. Okay. I don't think I've ever created a chart for New Iberia, Louisiana before. I love that. I love seeing charts from new places. I mean, new for me. Let's get this going here. Have you seen your chart before, Noel? Like, do you know your moon sign and your rising sign? I just like some confirmation to make sure that the system is accurate and that we have an accurate chart on the screen. And this is telling me that you're a 0 degrees Taurus on the ascendant, which means Chiron would be on your ascendant right now. Wow. And Libra moon conjunct Uranus. Whoa. Okay. All righty. Let's see here. So is that you? Hey, Lou S. Yeah, the list is still open. I'm looking at the chat. Get all your information on the same line, and that will help. The scales. Okay. Noel's confirming this is their chart. Great. Okay, so come on in. Get your digits into the chat. We're flying through these. These are speed readings, unless every now and then somebody gives a channel gift and I spend more time on their chart. And yeah. So Joanna, make sure I know who you are in the chat. I see your email, but I don't know what name to pair it up with, just so when it's your turn that I can get to you, that I make sure that we get to you, and that, yeah, that I know who you are in the chat, so that I can confirm, so that you can confirm that you're here when it's time. So Milky Shakes, yeah, you're in the queue, but you're not in the queue if you didn't include your birth time, birth date, birth digits, and all that. You know, you got to have all your stuff. Yeah, that's how you get in the queue. Okay, so Noel, let's just start. I'm sitting here reading the chat. Now my eyes are on the chart, so I'm not in the chat. Remember, once I start reading the chart, I only go back to the chat when I'm done with the reading. That's just how that works. So you have to have the information to me before I begin. So we are working with Chiron sitting on your Taurus ascendant. This absolutely has to do with self-worth. My appearance, my physical body, maybe my head, my face, because first house is all that Aries energy. You even have, because Taurus is values and money and finances, right? But you have the goddess of abundance and prosperity right there as well in this chart. So this can be abundance as in material, as in wealth, as in physical abundance, as in abundant energy. This energy, yeah, it can be considered a green thumb energy even. to help things grow and blossom. So with a Chiron on the ascendant, Chiron speaks of a wound, And so normally if it happens there, maybe you're reminded of a wound, maybe an old wound from the past kind of comes back and flares up. Again, at the 1 degrees, because abundance is there, this can be beneficial energy, but a lot of this energy can be like an internal wound over self-worth. You follow? So it goes way back. The ascendant is literally where we were born. So that's the moment of when we're popping out of mom type of energy. And so a lot of it then gets tied into the act of childbirth itself and the events of that, right? Mom's frame of mind, what mom was going through during that event. In your chart, you don't have anything over there. I'm just trying to see if this is something that was, you do have a square to that, but I think you're probably going to be okay. And yeah, just might be some intense stuff because it's 0 degrees. Usually that creates an intense moment. Not that childbirth wouldn't be an intense moment, right? But at 0, it's an extra layer of intensity that's added to that. So there could be multiple reasons why that would have been, but the infant would have, on some level, absorbed that sort of energy. Now, you do have Mars in your first house. So Mars in the first house, this is a home for Mars. Mars loves this. Mars loves it, but Mars doesn't like Taurus energy, or Taurus doesn't like Mars. Taurus is more reserved, a little bit more balanced in the way of being calm and patient. Mars is not those things. It's impulsive. So with yourself, though, this is going to probably give you some energy because it's in the first house. And you might notice, let me see if you have something angling this. Oh, you have karma exactly angling your Mars. Wow. Okay. Ooh, well, this can go 2 ways. This can be, it amps up your energy, or it can be a stress and tension from an authority figure. There might even be some stuff that's connected, like there might be duty and responsibility, might be heavy energy, can be mom and dad energy, can be that mixture. Man, okay, so with that combination and the Chiron sitting in the first, let me see if you have support here. If you have a trine energy, you got this. All right, let me see if you've got some other energy connecting here. Let's see what you have over. Okay, so you have some squares and you have some trines. This kind of creates a balance. However, there's a big focus for you you have 29 and 28 degrees pretty strongly in your chart, especially with your moon energy, and really extreme, different, unique, super unconventional home, mom, family, and relationships, personal, professional, right? It goes both ways. Your day-to-day routines may be affecting your health. This can be adrenals, sugar issues, because this is in the house of health too, okay? And things that would be kind of like shocking, surprising, that maybe kind of hit out of the blue, right? Maybe sudden things happen in terms of health and well-being, or even, like I said, within the home and with work, but partnerships. But again, the home and the family comes up again. You have it in a lot of, there's home and family, and there's extreme energy. So this tells me there's an immense amount of the past, the soul history, the soul memory that's kind of oozing out of the chart here. You have a Mercury in Cancer, which also talks about the past sensitivities in terms of communication, but not all the time, but there might be, there can even be, Mercury is kind of challenged when it's in Cancer. So it can move slower at times. My mind isn't moving as quick as I want to, might seem a little sluggish, a little sensitive, empathic energy, relationships. Yeah, really interesting chart. Aries in the 12th, so it's hidden ego tendencies with Aries in the 12th. And you're going to have Jupiter trining Jupiter. You follow? So for the next 12 months, it's not kicking in just yet because Jupiter isn't this far in degrees, but it is connecting with your Pallas Athena, which makes your Aries energy in the 12th a strategist, a behind the scenes strategist. You got to like that, right? And it's connected to health, day to day routines. It has like a Virgo energy to it. So it sees the details, it can analyze the details. This can really help the Mercury energy down here in terms of the mind, having this strategist up here in fast Aries energy. Aries energy takes a long time to grow up. But man, the wounds are strong here with Chiron. This is like people who were soldiers in the past, people who, yeah, and it's, wow, the oppositions that you have here in wounds and in shocks and surprises, an authority figure, trauma with home and family, but very unconventional energy. This seems to be kind of a theme tonight, huh? Strong. You have a beautiful, grand fire trine with this energy too, and with these wounds. So there's a part of Aries spontaneity and spunk and feistiness and huge optimism that can make a lot of that trauma stuff that I just talked about, because it's like all connecting in fire, and fire all the way around is optimistic and it's active, it's alive. It's not going to sit in its own stuff. So this is an immense help, an immense benefit for a chart where there's a lot of signature points about the past. And that would mean a lot of soul stuff, a lot of soul memory. So that means we're living in this particular reality, timeline, whatever you want to call it. But we have all these filters that are from the past that we are operating through. And so we're it's difficult to navigate when there's an impression from the past so strong left upon us. So yeah, you are probably aware of that. You got, Scorpio 29-degree north node. Healing in relationships is the focus for you. Healing and severing the traumas and the bond, severing the bonded energy, relationships. Yeah. Ultimately shedding those and healing. Okay, we're moving on. So let me go backwards and see. Okay, so yeah. Let me get to the chat and see what order we're going in. I wanted to make sure that I get the people who are sending gifts to the channel. I just want to make sure that y'all got it, make sure that you're in the fold here. But I'm not able to connect the names with some of these gifts I'm getting. You follow? Like Jay Castro, I'm not sure who you were in the chat, so hopefully, you'll let me know. And then I have J Rudy, Ruddy. Let me know who you are in the chat. Thank you so much for sending the channel gift. All right, so we're moving on. The next name up that has birth digits, that's how we're going to have to do this. Milky Shake, you're next. Look at that. And Milky Shake said, my question is, why do people become obsessive towards me? Okay. Very strange chart, in my opinion. Okay, well, let's take a look. Let's take a look at your chart. Thank you for having your information easy for me to read in front and center. And let's get this chart drawn up. Okay. Milky Shakes. Not Milky Shake, Milky Shakes. Got it. So you are a September 7th, 1994. Gotta make sure we got the right stuff. 1:54 p.m. And Brooklyn. Brooklyn, New York. Oh Lord, why are they giving me all these options? I hate when this software does this. Every blue moon, it'll start giving me all the counties. And it's like, you never do this for all the other places. They're giving me, holy crap. Holy crap. Okay. This is a big list. So I'm going to read these and you tell me if there's okay, so here we go. Delaware, Brooklyn, Kings, Brooklyn. What's this other one? Kings, Brooklyn Naval Station, Kings, Brooklyn Hospital. I think these must just, a lot of these must be the same. Cataruga, Brooklyn. What the hell? It's giving me all these counties, I guess. Do you identify with any one of these counties? I don't know if the coordinates are going to be the same, but they're giving me all these options and they're giving me like, which one is it? And I'm like, oh, Kings County. Thank you. Okay. We'll go with that one then. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it's all right. So let's pull that up here. All right. Let me get rid of that name so we can see that whole chart, since that's, yeah, we're going to clip that there. And this is giving me a Saggy on the rising at 12 degrees. Yeah, there's your answer. You got a Venus at 0 degrees in Scorpio conjunct Juno. There's your answer. I mean, that was fast. You got a moon in Libra at 11 degrees as well. Yep. You have Uranus and Neptune together down here in Capricorn in the house of money and desires, income, finances. You have karma at 29 degrees of an Aquarius. You have Mars at 14 degrees at a Venus degree in Cancer in the 7th house. So it speaks of the past. Seriously, just your basic chart. Jupiter, you have a lot in Scorpio and you have Pluto in the 12th house. Whoo, Scorpio in the 11th and then the 12th in this chart. So you're asking me questions, but you should probably know this answer actually. With a chart like this, I'm just saying. And your Pluto is also at 25 degrees, which tells me it is a focus on self, of change and growth and evolving of the self, of your soul. That's what this is in your 12th house. Yeah. So that's not all it is, though. It says that you have access to incredibly deep information. Whether it's soul records, whether it's whatever word you want to use, 12th house energy just knows shit. And Pluto is exalted in the 12th house. And you have it in Scorpio. It's in a trine with vertex, with fated energy. So let me give and then your Sirius is right there. And this is in your 8th house of bonds, bonded energy. Our energetics are bonded. This goes deep. It's like ancient shit here, right? And this can be a strong bond with feminine energy too. Like if you haven't noticed that, or if you have, you can have it both ways, because you have Leo and Cancer energy in the 8th house, which would be mom energy and dad energy, by the way, but feminine and masculine energy. But having Sirius next to it, even at a freaking Neptune degree, karmic, past lives and shit, it's connected to fate. So these are fated energy, fated relationships, or people that you come across, even when you're just out in public, dealing with the public, whatever, bumping into people, whatever, random shit, fated energy. It is at 25. So This can be a young degree, but it also can be this leadership degree and taking the initiative for healing the past. But severing bonds. So knowing the intensity that you hold in your chart with all this Scorpio. And remember, this is Scorpio in the 11th house with all this energy of deep. Now, Scorpio energy, let's be clear, it can energetically penetrate other people's energy. Like that's what it does. It does a lot of things, right? But it works in both realms. That's the power of the Scorpio energy. So you have to learn how to harness this power in the way where you're completely controlling it. Obviously, we can't do that 100% of the time, but having a really good handle on and understanding it for yourself. Because what happens is when you dip into somebody else's energy, they feel it. And what you're doing is you're creating new bonds. You follow? Or you're deepening the bonds that you already have. And so you need like a course in yourself and in your own power. Honestly, a deep dive in self and what all this means here. And it doesn't just look at the basics like I just did. This is intense as all hell, especially connected to the 11th house. That's lightning bolt energy. You follow? So that means it amps it up even more. It means we're plugged in all the time and it's like we're being electrocuted almost, right? So people may kind of feel that way. They may feel that buzz, but on a deep level. But ultimately, you would have to be cautious with how you're communicating and creating healthy boundaries. Okay? Healthy verbal, whether it's digital, whatever it is, because of the Pisces in your third house of communication. And Pisces, what do they lack? They lack setting healthy boundaries. Now, you do have a retrograding Saturn. That's great. But it's at freaking 8 degrees more Scorpio energy, you see? So this is definitely a big mission for you, a big mission in this lifetime. And values and desires, what and who you desire is a big mission as well. Okay? So know this about your nodes. This is important. You have a North Node in Scorpio at 16, right? This is at the desire degree. So your friends, the 11th house, your friends, that those people you're deeply bonded with energetically, just make sure that you're aware of how your Scorpio energy leaves and radiates and flows from you, and realize there's some power there that when people connect with it, because of the intensity, they feel like they're making real contact with a real being, as opposed to people who can be surfacey and there's no depth. Scorpio is all about the depth, right? And ultimately, that's what people really want. They want to know they're really connecting with somebody that's real and authentic. So you just have to kind of just do more investigation into yourself and that'll get you further. Okay. You'll understand it better. Joanne Castro's here. Okay. Thank you, Joanne. I see. Great. Okay, Joanne, we got you. Good job. Do we have 2 different Joannes? Thank you for clarifying. Yes, you are welcome. If you, dive into your chart, and just for all of us in general, understand that whatever energy comes to us, it's because that's what's inside of us. It's because that's what we radiate, subconsciously or consciously, intentionally or unintentionally. We radiate that. And what we don't realize is that the law of the universe, one of the laws is what you put out comes back. You follow the natural laws are universal laws. They just are. It's just like gravity. I hold something up and drop it, the shit's going to drop. It's not going to just float, right? There's no breaking that law. That's the way the other laws are as well. Okay, so we're moving along, and all right, let me see. Very good, very good. Let's go to the next one. And let's get Joanne Castro. Yes, you are welcome. All right. I didn't realize we had multiple Joannes here. Thank you. I'm so glad you clarified. Let's get your chart drawn up. I don't think you included a question, though. Or did you? Maybe I didn't see your question. I'm sorry. Let me go back. My brain. No, you didn't. You gave me your birth digits, but you didn't. All right. So I have May 26th, right? That's you. Let me create this for you real quick. Make sure we're... we're just going to go like that. And then let's do... Gotta make sure I'm getting these digits in right. 4 a.m. Very good. You got a birth time. Good job. And okay. All right, the Philippines. I always put 2L. It's 2 P's, right? Yeah. And then it's like, we don't have that location. All right, so Joanne, have you seen your chart before? Let's get this up here real quick. Yeah, so this chart is showing this is a Taurus ascendant. You guys are seeing a theme tonight, huh? Taurus ascendant at 3 degrees. Your Chiron is on your ascendant, which means the Chiron up in the sky is conjunct your ascendant. So you're going to have your Chiron return in 2027. Okay. It usually brings up a wound from the past. And it's actually a really good time, though, when a person has a Chiron return. It's just a good thing. Let me look at the rest of your chart before I go any further talking about that. You have your nodes at 23 in relationships. Okay, so you're really good at self. Ooh, you do me really well. That's what this suggests here. And you might not be aware of that, or maybe you are already aware of it. But if you aren't, this chart reads a Venus and a Mars conjunct at 21 in Aries. So I'm really good at starting, initiating. There might be some strong hidden ego tendencies because that's Aries. It can be childlike. If it's not, it takes decades for Aries energy to grow up. So, yeah, don't ever, that's what I love about the astrology. You can't take it personally. It's just how you were born. It's just what is. So 21 degrees Venus and Mars, they're going to be really impulsive with things that I desire. I'm going to take action. I'm not just going to stand still. Leadership roles might be a thing here, but you also have the South Node in Aries, which says, I've gotten my master's degree on self. I know how to do me really exceptionally well. Unique energy, different energy. Matter of fact, in one of Michael Jackson's charts, he's got this at 23 degrees. So the authenticity, the uniqueness stands out. It's really strong. The authority of my own life, very strong, incredibly strong, independent energy. Now, that was the past. This is the past because this is your South Node. Now, what that means is, in this time around, you're here to learn how to do the we energy really well, meaning partnerships and compromise. You and me, we. That's what your soul wants you to focus on in this lifetime. It doesn't mean you have to completely forget all of this other stuff, especially the energy with the Aries so strong. Think about some of the, I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan, so I'm just going to use him as an example again. He was a pioneer and a protector and tried to give inspiration for children. children who were injured, children who were hospitalized for whatever reason, and gave so much to them. And providing safe spaces for them. Right. Even though the press completely killed him with their shit. But the point is that he absolutely was legitimately sincere with what he was doing. And it was off the charts. It was off the charts what he was doing for children. So much so that made everybody in the world look like shit, right? But he was a pioneer in that way. But he was also a pioneer in a lot of other ways too, right? He absolutely was. So he was able to channel that energy into a very creative, just everything. He was a genius. He was a child prodigy. He was a freaking prodigy. So with all that said, doing self and leadership roles, being the authority and creating and finding and separating, making sure you have your own independence is a thing that you're trying to put on the back shelf a little bit. Okay. You have Moon in Virgo. Let me find out where did Joanne go? Did Joanne come back with a question so that I can? Joanne, did you leave a question? I just want to make sure because you sent a gift, so I just want to make sure that if you had a question attached, I cover it. And I'm looking in the chat. Let me look on my phone. I got a cat at the door who's like, absolutely, rest in peace, MJ. You know, this world, this world, you know, it's like they say, you get something really good, you don't know what to do with it because it's just too unbelievable. And that's kind of how I feel and how I see what happened to him. Just really shitty. So Joanne, all right, Joanne, I'm looking. Okay, so Joanne, I don't see a question here. Okay. All right, so let me see what else we can come up. I just want to know what to focus on. So you have a Virgo moon. This is going to be tricky energy, especially with children. If this is your chart, if a 3-degree Taurus on the ascendant is right, if a 7 degrees Virgo moon is right, this puts us in the placement of creativity, but also with children. So it can be tricky. Also with romance, this is energy that is really full on about the details. It can be really analytical, can be, you know, it can be the fixer that steps in and says, oh, we can make this better. You know, I want improvements, but it can also go really all in on perfection. I expect perfection. And many times we're not aware of it with Virgo energy. We just go overboard, right? And again, that's what Michael did with his work. He wanted perfection in what he created. And he worked hard at it. So this energy, if we haven't recognized it, it can be tricky because other people may look at us and they may be like, God, that person's picky, right? They're picky. They're so critical. They're this, they're that. And they're like, get them away from me, right? So this is why with Virgo, we want to be aware of it so that we can be like, okay, so yeah, you're right. Perfection's probably unrealistic. Or then I can hold that high standard for myself, but I shouldn't expect it for anybody else, you know? He was able to because he was Michael Jackson and people worked with him. And it was within partnerships, and that's where you have your moon. It's at a partnership degree. It can be personal and professional. Okay? But in the house of children, that might be a thing too. And so that can be tricky when we have that towards our young ones. That can be very, it can be a challenge. You also have Leo energy in the 5th house, which is the place where it wants to be. It's creative energy. It does good here. But you have restrictions on your creativity. Maybe you did when you were a child. You have Saturn, which is burden, rules, structure, limitations. Somebody or something said, oh, we don't have time to play, damn it. It's time to work, right? There was something here that makes it again, brings up Michael's energy again in my head because he was working. but he loved to perform, right? So it was a bittersweet double-edged sword for him. He knew he had no friends, because who the hell could be with friends with someone who's that freaking popular, right? So it came with a lot of duty and responsibility and burdens. And so this brings that up, and you even have it at the friend degree. Interesting. You have Neptune in the 8th house, talks about the past, wounds of the past, but also spirituality comes through really strongly, because it goes deep on a soul level, but healing energy is prominent here as well, and healing the past. This is about the communication style and my thoughts within deeply bonded relationships. And your relationships just in general, I'm seeing the number 11 jump out quite a few times in your chart. Like your Pluto and your Jupiter are beautiful trine to each other, which means you're going to have some big energy when the Pluto up in the sky gets to 11 degrees. That's a couple of years off, at least, maybe 3 with all the retrogrades. Yeah, it might be 3 years off at least, maybe even longer. But when that Pluto trines your Pluto and trines your Jupiter, holy shit. That's going to be like ding, 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 because it's going to be Pluto in your 10th house. Whoa. At the friendship degree, but different, new, unconventional technology is huge with the number 11. Work in technology, creative stuff, because even your Saturn is there. But Jupiter, Pluto, and yeah, it's like you have your own right now. Yeah, when that Pluto gets to the 11 degrees in Aquarius in some years for you, what we have right now up in the sky, for everybody who pays attention to the astrology, you know, the basket energy, I call it a bucket, but the basket, right? Because of this strong mini trine you have at 11 degrees, the Pluto in Aquarius, when it gets to 11, will be the trigger for your own personal basket, where major changes will happen fast. It's career, it's your long-term goals and commitments, personal and professional. There might be legal stuff involved, maybe shocking, maybe surprising, might be some creative stuff, authority figure, job, work. Technology, again, may be part of this, though, but different and unconventional. But the mind, absolutely 100% the mind energy, big time, because it will also trigger your 11th house cusp line of friends in high places like the angelic realm. So group energy, advancement for humanity, this is big, big inventive creator energy. Super big. Unique as all get out. But Jupiter can be the teacher in Sagittarius or in Gemini, can be the teacher. But creative stuff too. Creative, but can be spiritual. But writing, speaking, preaching. I'd like to know what you do. You might work with tech right now, but I'm wow. When that comes around for you, holy moly. I think that's going to be a big deal. That's some time off. Like I said, that's some years off. Let me just, for the hell of it, jump on it really quick, because this is kind of fascinating in my brain. I'm like, wait a minute. This person's going to have Pluto here. So this is going to get triggered. Looks like 2029, 2030. Yeah. So it's some time away. Wow. Yeah. It's going to be closer to 2030, because it'll really be a thing when the Pluto retrograde begins. So it's changing group energy, changing your goals for your future. This could be retirement energy for sure, but maybe that's too far off. I don't know. My brain and looking at birth dates and when people retire. That could be part of it too, because it is definitely part of a long-term plan, long-term financial security. And it does trigger your second house of money and income. So maybe selling and buying real estate. That can totally be, I mean, even stocks can be a part of this because you have Jupiter and Gemini. But contracts, professional partnerships, lawyers, the law, you've got that all built in here. So yeah, that's some ways off. But in general, because I don't see a specific as to what you wanted me to focus on. I'm feeling like that's kind of what jumped out. Right now you have your health. You have Venus on your Hygeia, so a health report card. The 5th house can be gallbladder, by the way, because you even have Leo in the 5th. It can also be heart energy, and just, because it's Leo. But so can the Aquarius energy too. But the 5th house can also be like automobiles. But yeah, you have Venus there, right there on the health of your own health of your children's health of your job, your work, your tasks, health of your mind energy, because this is a Mercury thing. And Mercury is thinking real serious right now about the past and home and family and siblings and mothering even. There's mother wounds connected. And many times we don't really get the gist of all that. So with all that said, which was a whole shit ton, your natal Mercury goes to Taurus energy. And so you have Venus training your Mercury right here. And that takes me to your Chiron, because the Mercury is my mind. And so again, self-worth and the thinking about myself in terms of, is my value based on my checkbook or on my balance in my account, right? It's discovering new gifts and how we truly are of value to ourselves. That's the most important thing. It really, truly is. Until we've demonstrated that and proved that to ourselves, that I value myself, I will not betray myself. If I say I'm going to do something, I am going to follow through on it. That's when we prove to ourselves that we're the shit. Because I know I got my back, damn it. I'm not dependent on somebody else. It's okay to ask people for help, but when it comes to it, I know I'm not going to run out on myself. I am good on my word to myself. That is so important. And I don't think we're ever taught that as children. And because values and self-worth is a Taurus thing, and it has to do with the mind for you specifically, that's going to be big. It's going to be huge. The mind and how you communicate and think about self, but siblings comes up, and speaking. And when I say siblings, this can be social media, peers, coworkers, but the number 3 is right here. The thoughts I tell myself about myself, and my values, probably a lot of the values and self-worth based on the appearance, because it's in the 1st house. So what I would hope for all of us is that we're not basing our value. Sure, maybe we want to make improvements, fine. But the physical material shit wears and dies away. It ages, it withers, it sags, it wrinkles, right? It does all those things unless you got Dolly's money. You follow? So if we base our values on that, we're setting ourselves up, and we can't do that. We absolutely can't do that. And I know it's easy to say. I get it. It's easy to talk about it. It's definitely harder to do it and to make sure that we follow through on it. But that's what a Chiron in Taurus is all about for every freaking one of us. Because Taurus loves shit and people that are desirable. It has to learn. Like, dude, there's way more important shit than just what you see at face value. Taurus has to learn that. Taurus has to learn that. And maybe some of the Taurus energy knows it. And in case it doesn't, well, it's going to learn. So I hope that helps. And I will save. Yep, we got you saved in the system. Come on back again. And, if you had a question, I searched multiple times, went to the email, and I didn't see your question. But yeah, I hope I kind of tried to cover a little bit of everything, trying to hope that I could, maybe answer whatever brought you here. All right, next. Moving on. Let's move on. Let's get this party going. Let's keep it going. We're going next, and it's according to people who show up with their digits there. We did Watkinson. We did, okay, we did, all right, we did that one. Christina Lee Hopkins, hello, need your digits. You hurt me so much. Hello, good morning. You didn't give me a location. You hurt me so much. If you're still here, you didn't give me a location. But you are next, according to what I'm looking at. Yep, you got to have a location or I'm going to keep moving. And I see what you're saying. I'm reading your comments. I'm not seeing a birth location. The last time I was here, I did not get my reading. You have to have a location. You're not accommodated. You have to have a birth location. And out of all these comments, I don't see your birth location. Okay. So birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state. You have to have all your digits in there, or I go to the next name. I'm here multiple times during the week, at least on a minimum 2 times. You could always come back when you get the location of your birth in. All right, so we're going to PDX music. That was wonderful. Oh, I think I already said you're welcome. You're welcome. All right, so we have can I put the digits in the chat? Yes. Joanna. Okay, we got that one. Oh, Lord, I'm seeing Joanna right now. Crap. Joanna, I'm just seeing this now. Will I have... Okay, is there a second marriage for me? Oh, with a chart like that... It's a darn good possibility, Joanna. Remember when I was talking about that Pluto energy at your midheaven, at a person's midheaven in their 10th house? That's long-term commitment energy. You follow? That's long-term commitment energy. So there's a very good possibility. A very good possibility, because that basket included your Leo energy, the location of romance. Yes, there's a very good possibility for sure. Again, the year 2030. Hopefully you've got things working. You've got irons in the fire before then, okay? There absolutely can be. Will a financial success with cybersecurity career after yes. Yeah, you have the Aquarius and the tech shit is so strong on your chart. Yeah. I mean, even your nodes at 23 would be technology. You follow? Yeah. So I would say and you have tech, you have Uranus in your 7th house as well. So you have all the indicators. You have all the indicators. You have the number 11 is so strong. Absolutely. And your Jupiter's in your 2nd house. Yeah. And your Venus, that's the big key for you. Your Venus. She's your great benefic. Cybersecurity. Yeah. That's Venus and Mars conjunct in your 12th house. Absolutely. Yep. You got all the earmarks for it. So there's your, I don't know why. Oh, because I didn't know this was, now I understand why. I thought this was the other Joanne. And it says Joanna. Oh, no. Anyway. All right. So I hope you got that bit. Okay. Okay. So here we go. What is this one? Do we have a location? No, we just have digits. I need full digits. So I'm scrolling. Hello. Here we go. Somebody who's got their stuff. Julie. Oh my God. Hello. November 9th, 1971, 10:19 a.m. Red Bank, New Jersey. Are you here? Why not call your name? Let me know you're here and I'll read your chart. I got to see you show up in the chat to say, that's me. Oh, here's Julie's question. All right. Julie. Okay, Julie, I got you. You sent me gotcha. Thank you for the channel gift. Thank you so much. And another one. Sinister Days. Thank you. I see Sinister Days. I see you in the email. Thank you for the gift. All right. So we're going through this. Julie said, I'm not sure what to ask. Does Jim have feelings for me or whatever you see? Okay. All right. Let's get Julie's chart drawn up so we can see what we can see is in terms of relationships here. November 9th. Hey, I know somebody with that. Actually, I think I know a couple of people with that birthday. Holy shit, might even be the same year. Wow. Not the same location, though. All right, 10:19 a.m. Oop. Red Bank, New Jersey. Okay. Oh, Lord, here we go. Let me see where they're giving me. Monmouth, Burlington. Wait a minute. That's okay. So for Red Bank, they're giving me Monmouth or Gloucester. They're asking me to pick one of those. Which one of those are you in? Okay. Great. I'm so glad this shit's working tonight. Yay. Instead of people being like, I don't know. Yeah, for it to be perfect, it would be, yeah, if we can get everybody trained to have all their information on the same chat line, yeah. Their digits with their question, that would be just sweet. All right, Julie. So the chart that I have here is showing that, have you seen your chart? This is giving me a Capricorn at 2 degrees on the ascendant. And this is showing me a Leo moon conjunct vertex. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Ooh, big mystic rectangle, big. Yeah, you got Merkaba energy in your chart. So what happens when people have that in their chart is there can be a tendency to being used to having things. Sure, there can be a struggle, but somehow it works out to going your way or in your favor, right? Or, God, that could have been so much worse, right? Because of the way the energy is set up, just in your chart natally. So that can be disappointment energy. Now, that I'm not leading you up for a disappointment, so don't get that wrong, don't get that twisted. It just means that if there's a delay, right, or we have to wait longer than we're used to, we feel like, why is somebody dragging their feet? Why, what's going on? You follow? You have a lot of fire in your chart, okay? And you have, if this is your chart, you have Aries in the 3rd house. So these folks might move way faster than they realize, especially in just wanting to have something done already, or to be leading, to go, to being first. It's got a real sense of urgency, Aries energy does. And in the third house, it's talking, it's communicating, it's, there's a rapport with somebody else. And so if that's not happening, and if it's not happening fast enough, then it's like, okay, so what the hell's happening? Why is whatever, right? In Aries, if it's not mature, remember, this is energy that takes decades to mature. All right. It can be really, really just self-focused. So it just means we have to get out of our own head sometimes, and it can be tricky. And you have a huge freaking water or huge fire trine. I mean, huge. You have a stellium in Aries, a stellium in Leo, a stellium in Sagittarius. Freaking stellium. And your Saggies in your 12th house. So, yeah, I see the problem. Not a problem, but as far as understanding what's going on, you might feel like, yeah, I got my pulse, my finger on the pulse, maybe for other people, or even like within society, like you kind of are in tune and knowing, and you're getting information about the future and thinking, what the hell? How come I don't know about this? Why is this a struggle? Right? It can be that way. Thing is, you have a really strong trine at 10 degrees, and this is long-term commitment energy. You have a beautiful trine. And your 8th house is connected, so there's deep bonds, but also probably a little bit of the past with romantic partnerships. You have vertex and your moon connected to this too. So your emotions, you demand. The romantic connection is going to be there, but there's also a commitment on a soul level, on a very deep, intense, energetic level. Now, this energy can be very playful and fun and optimistic, no doubt. But there's a depth to it. There is absolutely some soulful depth. And your emotions with the moon, again, it likes things to be playful and fun and happening. So let me take a look at the love. Okay, it's Taurus in the 4th, fixed energy, so that can be tricky. Taurus is calm and patient usually. But home and family and nurturing are going to be important. Okay, you've got Saturn in a retrograde in Gemini in the 5th house of romance. Okay, let's check. And 4 degrees is a big thing right now. We got Pluto over here at 4 in Aquarius. We've got Neptune sitting here in Aries at 4, and Uranus is right on your Saturn. Duty, responsibility, restrictions, slowdowns in communication. And it's in the house of romance. It's also in the placement of children too, by the way. So the Uranus represents different and a need for some space and some freedom. But Saturn is about long-term commitments. But Saturn also says, I'm going to make you wait type of energy. So when you have Uranus and the Saturn energy combined and mixed together, this can create, we're breaking away out of like the old idea of what commitment and tradition was. And so this is going to look like I'm creating it. We're in the process of creating what that new thing is going to be. So here's how this works. This is either the end of something, or, and when I say the end of something, like somebody else is saying, I need space, right? I need time. That's a possibility. Or, no, I'm still in this, but you're just discovering what I'm still in this means for them. It might not look identical to what it means for you. And so the both of you have to you're recreating a new structure. You follow? That's what the energy of Uranus and Aquarius energy is. It says the old way is outdated. We're creating a new way. So just remember all the impatient and really fast and speedy and fiery energy that you have. And Uranus is lightning bolt energy as well. So this is right here on your Saturn. And let me, because Jupiter is a thing for you up here. It's at 4. Okay, you don't have anything there. Got it. But you do have, this is where you have it. The Jupiter is trining your Mercury It's triggering your Mercury and it's activating you thinking about the future for sure. Big time. And love is part of this because you have your Venus and your Mercury together all the time. Jupiter is your greater benefic, though. You follow? So, what I'm going to say is whatever is happening right now, whatever you're in the midst of, you're going to find out within a month. You'll have clarity, and probably less than a month. You'll get more clarity. So, just kind of stay calm. Use your Taurus energy to keep the peace, to not lose your power. But chances are, like the beginning of August, even the first week of August, you're going to have Jupiter connecting with your South Node. So that's going to give you some clarity. You're going to understand what's going on a little bit more clear then. Okay. There's a health report card here, health report card in the health of this relationship. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this to you. Okay. The software kind of gives some keywords and I'm just going to read this to you for this time. This is talking about your partnerships, relationships with other people. And it's saying that it can be stressful during this transit, during this time. It's a time to reassess your connections with individuals, with partnerships and groups. Can be both. With a view to moving on with your life's purpose. So it says it's time to reassess your connection with individuals and groups with a view to moving on with your life's purpose. Any individual or group standing in your path is liable to be set to one side as you seek a new experience or new experiences. Of course, it's not easy to let go of links from the past or those people, particularly if one feels frightened of new experiences without the safety of the past. But if you can focus on the future rather than the past, you will discover that as one door shuts, another one opens. I'm reading that from the software. Okay. Now, this is just me reading one aspect for you. So because it is the South Node and the South Node triggers usually a release, okay, a release of a belief, because it's connected to 9 degrees here, release of a belief about my partnerships, whether it's partnership with children, partnership with my romantic partnership, but it's you reassessing it because you're going to have the help of Jupiter. Remember, it's your great benefic. So who knows? Maybe there will be more clear information. Maybe communication will come back online if it feels like there's no communicating happening. Maybe it's the partner coming to you and just being open about, whatever their beliefs were as far as the partnership. And then maybe you also yourself have different ideas, or maybe you both are just able to talk and to realize, we either do have the same ideas, but we're really bad at communicating them. Maybe that's the case. Either way, there's definitely something here that has to be figured out. And the strength of the relationship will either be stronger or it will end. Like that's just the reality of it. Okay. Because Uranus on that Saturn and Uranus is breakout, breakaway, break free energy. You follow? It normally is that. So again, this is just an astrology reading. You have free will and so does the other person. And I'm not looking at the other person's chart. I don't have that other person's chart in my hand. All I know for certain is Jupiter is your greater benefic. And at 10 degrees, this tells me that you want, see, the thing is, freedom is a really big deal. And your beliefs on freedom and independence are big. You just might not be really, really super focused and aware of it. But it's probably felt. Being your own boss even is going to be important. So there's a strong independent flair here, right? But because it's Jupiter, if we're female energy looking for masculine energy, Jupiter's the person we marry. You follow? That's the one who's ready to commit for the long term. And you have it at committing for the long-term degree. So in other words, if it doesn't happen with whoever you're in this relationship with right now, it's because they're not long-term commitment energy. They're not your Jupiter. That's just the shortcut version. You follow? Yeah, that would just be the shortcut version. So, as far as being fiery and independent, I mean, even your freaking Mars is at 1 degrees in Pisces. Right. Mars is fiery. It's very independent in general. Okay. And freedom is where your nodes are at. Your nodes are at 9 degrees. That's the energy of freedom and justice. So this is ingrained in you because it's your south node. Right. And so sometimes we have to analyze ourselves. We really do. If we're, we're like, oh, I'm aware of it, but I didn't know other people were aware of it. Like that kind of shit. That's where we get caught up because we're not aware. Other people are aware. So they're picking up on it, but we're kind of feeling like we're just coasting with it and we can make it work. So in other words, if we could find words for some of that stuff, and we could probably find a happy medium with somebody else who has similar energy. It's really just being aware of some of these things and being able to talk about it and then clearly stating, what my values are, what my goals are, and does this person fit? Does this person want to be a part of that picture? Sometimes it's it's absolutely, especially nowadays, the lack of communication. All right, so we're moving on. I hope that helped. And thank you so much for the gift. So we are going to see, let's see here. That was Julie Albright. I got that on the screen for a reason. Let me all right, who's next? All right, we did that one. La-di-da. La-di-da was here. I saw that. I'm scrolling. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, so we have Chicago. JD. JD? I think you were next. You've been waiting for quite a while, but if you're not here, then I'm going to keep on scrolling. I'm going to go to Sinister Days. Sinister Days, let me know if you're here. You sent a channel gift. You'll be next. JD, are you here? It's a September 21st, 1949, 1:30 p.m. Chicago. Is JD in the house? You're welcome, Julie. Okay, good. Sinister Days is here. So we're just waiting to see if JD's here. Sinister, if JD doesn't jump on real soon, then we'll go right to you so that we can keep this pace moving. Let's see. Oh, Joanna said you just made my day. Oh, girl, your chart is just, yeah. Like I told you, you got that freaking Merkaba there, and you've got that powerful bucket thing, and holy crap. It's freaking Pluto. Like, yeah. Okay, so JD, September 29th, I don't see you answering. Going once. Going twice. All right. I'm going to pull up Sinister Days so we can keep this rolling. Let's get Sinister Days in here. I'm just going to pop that root there real quick so that we know who's on the screen, or who's up next to be on the screen, I should say. And again, thank you for the channel gift. Let's get this on the screen. And Sinister Days, did you have a question? Let me see. Let me go back. I didn't even check. Let me click on it and see all the way. Nothing specific. Got it. Okay. I mean, that's usually how it is, but I always want to check to make sure I like to make sure people get what they come for. That's kind of my thing. All right. Okay, so Sinister Days. Look what you have at 4 degrees in Aquarius. I mean, this is just the first thing that jumped out because Pluto's sitting here, I guess. Maybe I already pointed this out to you. I don't know. This is a Egyptian god, the Egyptian god Ra, the sun god Ra. 4 degrees in Aquarius. So Pluto's sitting here right now. This is in career. Or maybe you're on the next level and it's a vocation. 4 degrees. It's unique energy. It's inventor type of energy. Can be technology, of course, and that's a big thing right now, of course. But what about home and family and mom? But this would be a combination of mother and dad energy too. So with the Pluto sitting there, I'm trying to see if you have the other stuff. I don't think you do. No. Okay. 12th house is where your Neptune and Saturn are sitting right now. And you got Jupiter down here, not at 4 though. So you have Pluto sitting up here at the 4. And, oh, okay. So this is angling. You could probably be feeling, because you have a Taurus moon at 3. And that talks about the past. But also the Sedna energy comes up again, the trauma of the past. Because that's Pluto and sun god Ra squaring this. Okay. So usually this could be stress with authority figures. It can be stress between mom and dad, between feminine and masculine energy. It can be that way. And that, I mean, it's a change. With Pluto there, it says we have to make a change. And I believe that this Ra energy, let me double check, but it has the gift of get my words straight, of being able to take control of a situation and to overcome obstacles, to find a resolution. It gives insight, enabling you to get past blocks, to create workarounds, and to reach a goal. And it's in the placement of attaining goals, the 10th house of career and my goals. And your south freaking node is there. So 11 degrees comes up. God, this number 11 has been up tonight in a lot of ways in everyone's chart. Holy moly. Yeah. Creative energy, your south node speaks to the uniqueness, the inventor for sure. Group energy. This talks about the quest for inner self-worth, public display of public recognition. Yeah, it says there's a need for public display, for the public recognition based on past life recognition, because you got the recognition in the past. But groups and friends, right? Social services even. This is new systems, creating new systems. And just creating in an unbelievably unique way, because your north node down here is at the 11 as well. Let me look for your Jupiter stuff, because it's going to connect with our Jupiter going. Yeah, Jupiter's at 4. So we're going to push this forward a little bit, because your Aquarius and your Leo energy are the prominent thing in my head at this moment. And so like you saw on the other chart, if you were watching, the 10 degrees, it doesn't take us like the beginning of August. The beginning of August, we're tap dancing around 9 degrees. Yeah. So 7 and 8 and 9. Let me see what you have over here. Yeah, you have Jupiter squaring, T-squaring the moon again with the nodes and with Pluto. Values, money, finances, self-worth. And remember that 3 degrees is that writer energy and learning and speaking, the mind. And you also have a Chiron in Taurus. It's going to be a minute before Chiron gets to your Chiron in Taurus, though. You have a little bit of time. And so I know I didn't elaborate on that in the other chart, but basically a Chiron, when it gets to the natal Chiron, for when that does happen, it's when it will bring up those old wounds, but it gives us the opportunity to stand strong with those wounds, to recognize like this bothers me. Like this isn't okay for me. But being able to verbalize it, being able to talk about it, being able to establish boundaries and feeling good about it. Not because I like cursed somebody out, but because I stood up for myself. You follow? And I can't explain the feeling it gives. It's like we feel good in our own skin. It adds to a layer of our own self-worth and confidence. Okay? Especially a Chiron in Taurus, which you have, and yours connected at self-worth at 14 degrees, desire energy, Venus energy, possibly to do with how I look, something with my head even, first house energy. Now, that's where Jupiter is right now with Pluto at the opposition, squaring all this. But come August, you're going to have Jupiter leaving this tough square that you're in right now. And it will start to connect with the 11 degrees, which screams, I got to break out of this routine. I need something different, something new. It'll be in the home. Again, it's authority figure energy. So if you live alone, then this is perfect because then you'll have a lot of freedom and space to do what you want to do when you want to do it. If you don't, then this might cause a problem. Only in that when other people need time to break out, break free, they just need to go on a little whatever. They just need some me time, some independent time. Some people they take it the wrong way. They think it's about them and it's about the other person. They just need some time away. They need solitude time, right? And that's what number 11 is, extremely independent energy. So Jupiter is going to trigger that for you, and it's going to be triggering your north node. And it comes, even here, August 11th, it's like Jupiter, Hygeia, and the moon. They're all together. So you'll feel it. You'll feel I'm taking a look at my creativity, or maybe even children, if you have children in the home. But whatever your creations are, likely creating and inventing something new, something really authentic even, something different. Fourth house, so moon, family, energy, involving possibly the past, but fun is usually part of this really colorful energy. Okay, really colorful. And you're reassessing when it's this Hygeia. You're reassessing. You're saying, how is this going to look? You're thinking about the future of how you're creating, whatever that creation is for you. Now, you do have a square at the same time that'll be triggered. So, and even karma is right there at the same time, of course, right? I mean, that's just the way it is. So it's all fixed energy and it's all angled up. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. You live with this all the time. You have a T-square with this 11 degree in your chart all the time. And even your Chiron at 14 is part of it, okay? The difference is this time it's Jupiter and the moon, but you also have karma there. So this means it's not just Scorpio energy past in significant one-on-one relationships. There's also something karmic ties, karmic bonds. You follow? So this is the energy of severing those bonds, severing those traumas, those wounds in significant one-on-one relationships, because we want to eventually heal and grow. And we want the Phoenix rising energy, damn it. And that's the Scorpio. That's the promise of Scorpio energy, to bring about that Phoenix rising stuff. So I would say that this is a square. It's a T-square, but Jupiter being your greater benefic, I think this is a very beneficial T-square because it's going to involve a lot of healing. But the healing has to involve you being ready for that healing and being aware of, the word conscience, not even consciousness, right? But our own conscience. Back in the day, we used to talk about what is conscience, oh, it's like the little angel or the little devil on my shoulder, and that's the little thought in my head that says, well, that's good or that's bad, whose suggestion am I going to follow? So there's something here with the deep intent that's important because we manifest through our intentions. And if partnerships is something that is big on your, if that's a thing that's happening for you right now where there's a challenge or concern, this energy in personal and professional partnerships can prove beneficial under this stressful time. Again, I don't see it as extremely stressful whenever Jupiter is present. Jupiter just somehow can spread its blessings and make it better. And your Leo energy is in the 4th house. Well, Jupiter does really well in the 4th house. It's exalted in that Cancer type of energy. So yeah, your 4th house includes energy of mom and dad energy. Well, that's the energy that we manifest with the sun and the moon, mom and dad. You see? So I think Jupiter here, I think this will be beneficial overall. Okay. It'll be a beneficial time, but you may not feel like it's particularly beneficial while you're going through it. You follow? So I hope that makes sense. And, the other thing too that I kept hearing right before we began tonight was to emphasize to everybody that the nodes are going to be in Aquarius and in Leo. So in other words, when the South Node is in Leo, which you will have at this time, this adds even more creative energy, more fiery, optimistic, but it's also more take charge energy. So when Jupiter is getting close, like it is here, to your node, it is absolutely 10 degrees of Jupiter will be take charge energy. I'm getting very serious about my goals for my future, about my creations. It may home and family, maybe even property, or maybe even where the hell am I going to live? Am I thinking of moving, right? Because it's new opportunities. It's just new opportunities that come up and we have to be ready to pivot. So an extra dose of Leo energy and an extra dose of Aquarius energy. And Aquarius is the nodes in certain teachings. The nodes are the rulers of Aquarius energy in certain teachings. And so, especially the North Node, I should say, because the North Node is unpredictable. It's unpredictable energy. So we should expect a lot of unpredictability, which means we literally have to be the surfer on the water with the board. We have to learn how to surf real fast, which means we have to be able to go with every twist and turn, every movement that the ocean makes when we're trying to stand up on that damn board. So definitely an exciting time. But for people who are not into change and who don't like unpredictability, it can be stressful then, right? Yeah, it can be stressful. So just know that you have the Pisces and the Aquarius in the 11th house of friends, angelic realm, but friends who can provide benefits. And I don't mean in that, that there used to be that old saying. This just means people who can be beneficial in your life, okay? 11th house, you got it. You are welcome. Okay, so do we have time for one more? Who was after? Oh, yeah, I got to go back a little bit. Who was next in line? All right, I'm looking. Okay, so what do I see here? Is this, yeah. Okay, Sinister Days was way back here. I didn't even know Sinister Days was way back there. But I'm glad that Sinister Days did that. I'm Sinister Days, you probably thought I skipped over you on purpose. I'm sorry. Sometimes this chat can be tricky as hell. Oh, you're welcome, Lou. You are welcome. I mean, that video is so old, but it's really good to refresh because we are in Merkaba energy, which means there's bound to be a freaking yod. There's bound to be, yeah, like a finger of God. We're in the energy for sure. Okay, so how about this person? They may not still be here. Star, CS Gianna Star. I am August 20th, 1981. Where's the location? 2:41 a.m. Is that Louisiana? That'd be 2 charts in Louisiana tonight? Wow, that would be a first for me. Are you still here? Oh, edit. There was an edit. 8:20:81 at 2:57 a.m. Gotcha. Are you still here? Is Louisiana August 20th, 1981, 2:57 a.m. Are you still here? Hey, Sergius, I see you. How are you doing? Yeah. I I see you there. I saw your plea that said, "Please do mine." I'm sometimes a lot of these people leave. If nobody speaks up, then okay, I'm looking. All right, what the hell? Let's do it. India, which profession suits me in going through a lot of mental health issues? Oh God, yeah, right. That's the thing. The world, the times that we're living through. We think we're going through mental health issues, not that we're not, but the reality is we're all connected to each other and it's stronger than ever before. And so like you going through mental health issues is, yeah, holy shit, we're all sharing that stress. It's such a wild time. We're so, you know, we think of Aquarius energy, like the nerves and the neurons going through the body and how they all have to go through that. They all intermingle and connect to make it happen. Well, we're just a speck of the big picture. You follow? So it's that connection of going through shit, but like a lot of it, it's like coming from other people. And we're not even aware of it. It just makes it so hard to function. I mean, it adds to it. Not that there can't be, wow, okay. I'm trying to spell your name and I'm like, huh? L-A. All right, so that's long enough for me. We'll put that in there. That should be good. December 17th, 1998. Is that correct? $11:35 a.m. And what do we got here? Okay. All right, this should be interesting. Let's see what my software tells me with what you gave me. KARIMNAGAR. Okay, they didn't say anything. Let's see. Oh, good. They gave me India as an option. Thank you. Have you? So you want to know which profession suits me? Okay, so I haven't seen your chart before. Have you ever seen a tropical Placidus chart? This is showing Pisces on the ascendant. Oh, this is showing a Mercury in Saggy, a Moon in Saggy, a Pluto in Saggy, and the Sun in Saggy in this chart. Wow, okay. Ooh, another 23 degrees node in this chart. So what I'm going to do, because I just want to make sure this is you and that it's accurate. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to do this. 10 degrees, 10 degrees. Okay. Let me get this on the screen. This is kind of fascinating. I hope this is your I hope it matches you. I need water. Hold on. Oh, thank you for the feedback, Sinister Days. Yeah, it hurt so much. We called you an hour and a half ago. Okay, I'm trying to get your thing off of there so we can see the chart. There we go. All right. So if this is you, like this is a pretty fascinating chart. Your north node is in Leo energy, okay, in this chart. And it does trine, you got this big grand fire trine. And that node is at that higher mind degree too. It's like that Aquarius degree, which I love. And it's in Leo, the sun, right? So it should be highly intellectual, really smart energy. The 11th house, you have some Aquarius there. You even have Uranus in Aquarius at 10 degrees. So profession, that speaks of a tech profession, a profession in tech, but it's behind the scenes, which, yeah. I guess I'm saying it that way because what tech isn't behind the scenes, right? Tech is all behind the scenes. So the Sagittarius is what's at that midheaven energy, which is usually career and goals. The Saggy energy speaks of something independent, but being the boss of yourself. I'm just looking at the degree up there. But it may have taken on a spiritual journey for you, and maybe that's what's going on. You have Saggy in the 9th house in this chart. You even have Pluto there. So what this is telling me is with your Mercury at 3 degrees, that we got Jupiter sitting right here on your Leo energy. And this energy and this object that is sitting here, that has Jupiter sitting here, when Jupiter is my future, right? But it is higher education as well. And so this talks about a wound. Interesting, right? Talks about a wound. It shows us another perspective on wounds. Children, fun, joy, creativity, romance, but home and my emotions. And my emotions can be a thing here at the 4 degrees. All right. So that's where Jupiter's sitting right now for you. And you also have something right here in Aries. Oh, wow. This is where Neptune is sitting. Okay, you have Sisyphus here. And Sisyphus is a feeling of starting over and struggle. like it's a long ass journey and I've been working really hard. And just when I feel like I'm going to get to the top of that mountain, like I get pushed back down to the bottom of the mountain again and I got to start the climb again. So there's you got Neptune sitting right there in this chart. And then Jupiter sitting right here. So this is one of these, and then learning and higher education. You got Mercury in the third house conjunct your moon here. You follow? And so that would really, I could see you saying that you had excelled. But now with and I don't know how long this has been happening. I don't know if it was just the arrival of Neptune in Aries, the arrival of, I don't know when this all triggered for you, but Neptune can really make things wonky and confusing. And it's trining your Mercury energy, like an exact trine. So Neptune's for creating and make-believe energy. It's not for like being studious and studying, unless it's learning how to act. Do you know what I'm saying? Or making or writing music or painting or something like that, right? It's really kind of different from this energy. It's very different from any of this tech stuff. It's just different. But even your Neptune is at 0 here. So when you have the Neptune and the Aquarius, when we think of health in terms of Aquarius energy, the neurons that are in our body, and the Mercury is part of the communication in the nerves in our body and the nervous system in general. And you have it in Saggy in the 9th house, which means it can kind of get blown out, literally, right? Like it's overworked, overused. Anxiety might be really high, even stressed out really easily, possibly. And Jupiter wouldn't probably, let me see. Jupiter is your great benefic. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Let me get to your original question just so I make sure. I love getting in the morning. Oh, that was Sergius. I'm sorry, Sergius. I'm sorry, Sergius. Find me during the week because this chart here will be the last one tonight. I don't know if I clarified that or not. Which profession suits me in going through a lot of mental health issues? Yeah. So the tech stuff shows up really big. But definitely independent. Now, being like a consultations, guide kind of energy would be Sagittarius for sure. And when I say that can be, I would follow this 10-degree one. Even though Mars would be considered your great malefic in this chart, it would still be the same even in the other chart. I would follow this because this would be like new relationships, but whether it's something with technology, okay, and contract work. That's the most obvious thing right off the bat. Some of the other things, let me see here. Saturn is in your 2nd house. You do have a retrograding Saturn. That can be kind of tricky. That might delay professional work, big duties, big responsibilities, because it's a retrograding Saturn. It is in the fire energy, and it does trine your sun, and it does trine your North Node. Okay. Either way, you have a lot of objects that point to you doing like working independently. Combining creativity into the work. Let's see here. So your income is partnerships. It's Libra energy. Contract work comes up again. Your 2nd house cusp flame. And then your Mars is over there in partnership. So I don't know if law energy comes into play in any way for you, but you being the boss, you taking charge is coming up again in some way here. But it's contract work, one-on-one relationships. But then the Virgo energy talks also about maybe involving health stuff in some way. Because I don't know I don't know a lot about the tech stuff at all. So I don't really know how to talk about it in terms of different ways it can be used, which it seems like it can be used any old way now, with the implementation of AI. Because your earth energy, I would suggest using too. You have a strong trine with talking and communicating, networking, right? With your Taurus at 20 degrees in the third house, which is business and trade. And then you've got Virgo here too. And the vertex, you've got a lot of strong support here for connecting with with corporations even. And your Venus in Capricorn. She's a smart Venus. And projects and tasks. So that's beneficial. You have earth trines, you have fire trines, and you have air trines. And when I say trines, I'm talking grand trines. So it comes down to you kind of figuring out what's the least stressful, what you like the most. This is about you having to make a decision. But I will say, you being the boss and doing something that gives you more independent than something else is what I would probably pick, because it shows up a lot. You being your own boss, this shows up a lot in your chart. Independent work and involving tech in some way. But the thing with the Saggy at the midheaven, this can be travel, right? But it can also be, you trying different things out, like the constant seeking and searching, but also maybe even being a teacher, like a combination of things. So you could maybe be teaching what you've learned, right? It's Sagittarius energy. It's higher education up there, especially if you're not planning on being a judge or a lawyer or anything, or a diplomat, or any political slop. If you're not planning on doing any of that with that stuff, then take advantage of your sun and your moon and your Pluto. You've got so much in Saggy. These are like astronauts. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're constantly seeking and searching and climbing and constantly setting new goals. And Saggy is really good at being lasered, focused in on something. But you have it at a creative degree. You do. So whether that means games, I have no idea. It's a creative degree. It's Leo energy, fun, children, joy, creativity. Like, that's what that is up there at that degree. So I would definitely just search out my options and just know that you got a lot of strong energy here to pretty much do what you want. You have to just make that decision. And I think people with Saturn and Aries are fortunate, because Aries can be so juvenile. It really can. I mean, it can be really smart when it's developed its mind, its higher mind. But the Saturn really grows it up. It matures it. So again, that's more boss energy for you. And your Saturn, thankfully, is not your great malefic. So that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Okay. Yep. Fun marketing campaigns. Absolutely. Advertising. Yes. Because Leo energy, marketing. Yeah. Leo energy is real flashy. Get people's attention. You find what you enjoy. I mean, really, because your North Node is in Leo. And that says it's going to be unique. It's going to be creative. It's going to be different, independent. But ultimately, it should be something that brings you joy. It's literally in the house of work. You follow? It should bring you joy. So you can just kind of have to figure out like what you're going to have to experiment with these things and find out what it is that you really enjoy. What gives you joy when you're doing it? And it'll be a win-win because it's part of your big freaking fire trine. Yeah. So I love that for you. Okay, so for anybody who didn't get a reading yet, we usually go and end our readings, or we end at 9 o'clock on Saturday nights. So we'll be back again during the week. Monday through Friday, we do a surprise live stream. It's the same setup as we're doing right now. It's usually during the day on that one. It's usually, it's Monday through Friday, no later than 5 p.m. I'll go live. And I'm in the Central Time Zone. You follow? Last week, I think we went live on Monday. The week before was Monday and Wednesday. So here we are tonight. Minimum live stream is at least 2 times a week, at least. Okay. So next week is I think next week is the private lives, right? And yeah, we do that the 4th Saturday, the 3rd Saturday of the month. 3rd Saturday of the month, yeah. The private live stream. It's the same thing as this, but we just do it not on YouTube. It's a very small group. It's very private. And we usually can go a little bit deeper and spend a little bit more time. And it's actually quite intimate. So if you're ever interested in that, that's every Saturday, every 3rd Saturday of the month. Just send me an email if you want to get involved in that. Okay. That way it also doesn't have to be, not everybody likes the shit being all public and right on the live, anybody could be watching and listening. And for some people who are private, they're uncomfortable with that. And that's why I offer it. Okay. So just shoot me an email and we can get you in on the next live, on the next private live if you're interested. If not, I'll see you sometime during the week. Make sure your bell's around so you know when I go live next. The goal of the channel is to help people who can't afford astrology readings so that people can have the opportunity to get a quick free reading and to not be garbage. Like that's accuracy is hugely important to me. So just giving people an opportunity to get a little bit of help, because astrology readings, you're talking a minimum $300 for 90 minutes minimum, right? So it's expensive. It's expensive. And that's probably on the low side. So with that said, get your digits to me. You can always send me an email. I can create a chart ahead of time and have you in our system. That way, when you come to the live stream, you're already in, and it makes the live stream go much smoother when I don't have to fish and dig through multiple contents to get your digits. Okay. And as usual, anybody who sends a gift, I can spend more time on their chart. That's just, that's just the beauty of people who have the means to help me to keep doing what I'm doing, which helps other people who can't afford jack. You follow? It's everybody helping everybody. Okay. So we'll be back. And yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see that. All right. I appreciate it. That would be wonderful. Yep. And it resonates. Good. Good. Yeah. You have a lot of options. You've got a lot of strong energy in your chart. You got to you just have to select what works for you. That's what it comes down to. All right. So with that, we're going to end. And I want to thank everybody who sent a channel gift. If I could go longer, I would. But I know that at this time at night, when it gets down to, I've been doing it for a little over 2 hours now. If I feel that I am not as sharp as I was, that's why I end it. I don't want to give out garbage readings. You follow? Now, during the day, sometimes I can go for 3 hours, right? And I try to go through as many charts as I can. But if I feel like I'm just not sharp enough, I'm going to be like, okay, we got to end. I don't want to read and have it be, slop. That's not why I'm here. So don't take it personal. For those who didn't get their reading, just send me an email and we'll take care of you. Okay. Just come on back and we'll get it all worked out. Thank you again for everybody who sent a channel gift, and I will see you all when I see you. Have a good one.